On camera, she laughed while she badgered her staff. And so all good things must end. And also the Ellen DeGeneres show. Yes, the 83-year-old entertainer just announced that the upcoming 19th season of her show will be its last. Apparently, she created a workplace more toxic than an Amazon warehouse in Chernobyl. Countless allegations surfaced last summer that the show's work environment was rife with harassment and discrimination. Following those charges, Ellen's ratings dropped faster than Kevin Spacey's pants at a boy band pool party.
How did television's queen of being kind become someone people allegedly couldn't stand working with? Picture the golden era of daytime TV, when a platinum blonde host in sneakers gave away cars, got the audience dancing, and built a massive empire around positivity and good vibe. That empire was Ellen DeGeneres. But behind the cheerful studio smile and feel-good message, a very different story began to emerge. One that turned her carefully polished image into a much bigger controversy.
Led to article after article of people being like, Ellen's a Ellen is a nasty person. And all these staffers started to come out, not for nothing, but I know a guy, I know him very well, whose sister worked for her, who said, you were not allowed to make eye contact with Ellen in the halls of that show. If you saw her, this is not a nice person. So she eventually got canceled, but now she's coming back. She's got a Netflix special. That's the right response.
Tearful interns, uncomfortable staffers, and whispers about problems behind the scenes. Then two unexpected voices step forward to challenge the image. Megyn Kelly, the former Fox News host turned outspoken podcaster, went straight for the heart of the controversy. Greg Gutfeld brought his trademark sarcasm and sharp humor. Together, they questioned Ellen's carefully built Be Kind image and pushed Hollywood to face an uncomfortable question. What was really happening behind the scenes?
It was just the excuse. She is, Emily, I watched her comedy special. It was like a huge pity party. It was about how she was lamenting how her reputation has suffered. She's essentially as popular as a pit bull with monkeypox. But she's putting this on Trump. Do you think that she's going to be, just everybody's going to love her in England?
Stick around, because the story that follows is enough to surprise even longtime daytime TV fans. When Ellen DeGeneres launched her show in 2003, it quickly felt like something special. Her relaxed smile, spontaneous dancing, and those famous giveaways that promised to make somebody's day became more than just a TV routine. They helped turn Ellen into a major pop culture phenomenon.
Because I'm seeing this week that there is an attempted comeback by somebody who did not cross one of those fateful lines of the misstepping on their sacred cows of gender or race or but she was said to be a and that's Ellen DeGeneres. So her show got canceled after she had this testy exchange with Dakota Johnson, where something happened where Dakota said, oh, I had this birthday party, and Ellen said, well, why didn't you invite me? You didn't invite me. And she said, like, no, I did invite you, Ellen. That's not what happened. And Ellen had blown her off and then tried to play the victim on the set with her. Anyway, it led to article after article of people being like, Ellen's a Ellen is person.
By 2020, the Ellen DeGeneres show had reached 19 seasons, collected more than 60 Emmys, and welcomed some of the biggest names in entertainment. Celebrities danced, audiences laughed, and emotional moments became part of the formula. Advertisers loved the show, while critics often praised Ellen's friendly, feel-good image. But behind that polished success, concerns were starting to surface. It began quietly, with anonymous accounts, private complaints, and rumors spreading about what life was really like behind the cameras.
So Ellen and her wife, Portia, have left their millionaire haven of Montecito for England. Now, they're saying they'll never come back in the wake of Trump's win. Do you think that's the reason why she's leaving?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, Ellen got canceled for real a few years ago from just being a jerk.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a single comment she said or something she did. Just lots of people saying that working for her was a living nightmare and that she's a jerk.
Tension was reportedly building behind the scenes. Anonymous accounts described interns in distress and producers feeling overwhelmed. Then came claims about something reportedly called Operation Smile, an alleged internal policy that pushed staff to stay upbeat no matter what. By late 2019, more serious allegations began making headlines, including claims of workplace mistreatment, discrimination, and even strict rules about interacting with Ellen. Some former staffers said the atmosphere felt so tense that they were constantly watching what they said and did. And as the controversy grew, the show's ratings began taking a hit.
And I think also to admit your mistakes.
Of all people on earth to be feeling sorry for herself, Ellen DeGeneres should not be on the list.
She should at least, but make a real apology and do it.
There's no apology. It's just woe is me. I was run out of Hollywood as she speaks from this grandiose stage on Netflix. Hello, you haven't been canceled if you are doing a Netflix special. She got $20 million for the one before this. I'm sure she's fine.
From 2019 into 2020, the pressure around Ellen's show continued to grow. By 2020, viewership had reportedly fallen sharply, leaving audiences less enthusiastic and advertisers more cautious. For years, viewers had seen Ellen as the face of kindness, hugging fans, supporting charities, handing out huge checks, and turning ordinary moments into celebrations. That made the growing behind-the-scenes allegations even harder for many people to understand. How could the woman who built her entire brand around Be Kind be facing accusations that painted such a different picture behind closed doors?
Ellen told the Today Show, home of Matt Lauer, that the bad press actually had nothing to do with her decision. Right, and the Titanic didn't hit an iceberg. It chose to sink.
If it was why I was quitting, I would have not come back this year. I really did think about not coming back because it did, it was devastating. I am a kind person. I am a person who likes to make people happy.
No, the real reason, she says, is it was just too easy. Telling the Hollywood Reporter, quote, when you're a creative person, you constantly need to be challenged. And as great as this show is, and as fun as it is, it's just not a challenge anymore. Well, if that's true, here's an idea. When your viewership is down 43%, why not consider that the challenge?
That contradiction made the story impossible to ignore. While industry reports raised questions about what was happening behind the scenes, Megyn, Kelly, and Gutfeld didn't hold back. Kelly challenged the double standards, while Gutfeld turned the controversy into a sharp comedic roast. For years, Ellen had built her empire around kindness, positivity, and feel-good moments. She became almost a symbol of cheerful daytime TV. But by 2020, allegations from former staffers were painting a very different picture behind the cameras, one they described as toxic.
I'm gonna let her back in, Rob, because she's a leftist and she didn't hit one of their sacred cows. That's their bread and butter.
Well, I think everyone, I will say, like, the resentment, I think everyone should have a chance for reconciliation. I don't think Jesus exempted anybody. And so I do, while it does, because I have been allowed back in, but I don't hold any grievance and resentment. It's very important. And I would just say for Ellen, the resentment, you have to get over resentment. To whatever addiction or addictive qualities happen, to get over it, you have to deal with resentment and address it, and then otherwise you're going to fall back into the same path.
Rumors claimed interns were expected to stay quiet unless spoken to, while some employees allegedly feared that even making eye contact with Ellen could cause problems. Behind the cameras, the atmosphere was described as tense and uncomfortable. Then outlets like BuzzFeed began publishing reports that pushed the controversy into the spotlight. The allegations went beyond rude behavior, with former staffers describing concerns about workplace treatment and claims that complaints involving racial issues were not properly addressed. As more stories emerged, the show's ratings continued to struggle, and network executives reportedly started paying closer attention. Ellen's carefully built image of kindness was taking a serious hit. But the story reached a much bigger audience when Megyn Kelly decided to speak out, turning what had been a growing cloud of rumors into a national conversation.
Oh, she was like, well, that's my time. Later, Marks, I'm out. Yeah. And then just leave them behind to go.
Yeah, they don't have the choice. They must stay in that Trump. We're out of here. By the way, Walter,
I think we could let the illegal aliens stay if we get enough of Hollywood to self-deport.
Yes. I will take 1,000.
Exactly.
I'll take 1,000 Venezuelan migrants for one share.
On her podcast, Megyn Kelly took a much harder look at the controversy. Instead of simply repeating the rumors, she focused on what she saw as a media double standard. Kelly argued that if a conservative host faced even a fraction of the complaints being reported about Ellen, the reaction would be far more aggressive. Her comments stood out because she wasn't simply known as an Ellen critic. She came from mainstream television and had spent years challenging public figures from across the political and entertainment worlds. Kelly also pointed to accounts from former employees and allegations about workplace complaints being handled quietly. She questioned why Ellen's positive public image seemed to receive so much protection, while the stories coming from behind the scenes received far less attention. Her larger argument was about accountability. Kelly suggested that celebrities can sometimes receive a pass when their public image fits the cultural narrative people already want to believe. One story especially captured the controversy. Claims that Ellen had become so distant from staff that even basic interaction, like making eye contact, supposedly felt uncomfortable. Whether every detail was accurate or not, the image was powerful. A workplace where employees allegedly felt afraid to even approach the boss.
If Trump is truly responsible for Ellen's exodus, shouldn't that go down as his greatest achievement in the last 8? I mean, he should get the Nobel Prize.
He's literally going to have a who's who of left. I mean, the entire 80s music catalog is gone. You got Springsteen, Cher, Madonna. I just don't know why they keep showing pictures of Aaron Rodgers with blonde hair.
Megyn Kelly's comments quickly spread online, putting fresh pressure on Ellen's carefully built image. Then Greg Gutfeld joined the conversation with his trademark sarcasm, turning the controversy into a comedy routine and mocking the gap between Ellen's cheerful TV persona and the workplace allegations surrounding her show. Clips of both commentators spread across social media, turning a behind-the-scenes controversy into a much bigger cultural debate. Ellen later attempted to rebuild her public image, but the response was mixed. Some viewers saw her as sincere, while others felt the explanation did little to address the concerns raised by former staffers. By the time the show ended in 2022, Ellen's once untouchable image had clearly changed. The woman who built a television empire around Be Kind was now facing a much harder question. Did that message reflect how people were actually treated behind the cameras? That became the lasting debate around her legacy. For critics, the controversy showed how powerful celebrities can sometimes receive more protection than ordinary people. For supporters, it was a painful example of how quickly public opinion can turn. In the end, Ellen's story became bigger than one talk show. It became a reminder that a positive image is easy to sell, but authenticity is much harder to fake. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.